Alright folks, welcome back to the Jeep. Sorry for shaky camera, I'm on a little bit of a back road, but I started thinking about stuff, and I know I hadn't posted here in a while, sorry about that. But I posted about the dream I had, and I posted about some responses I got to it. But I have seen a lot of posts in the last 6 or so months, people having rapture dreams. And the Bible tells us that as we get closer to the end of days, that there will be signs. Whether those signs are something that happens in the natural world that everyone sees, or people being given some revelation, or both. We know there will be signs. We know God talks to us. He shows us what's going on. He tells us what's going on. Because he doesn't want a bunch of blind little sheeple automatons that just obey because we're programmed that way. That's why he gave us free will. And after our fall, it's why he gave us a way back. He loves us. But I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, I'm not going to hide the fact that I am a Christian. At this point, I consider myself non-denominational. I have friends who are Baptist, Presbyterian, Methodist, Adventist. And the one thing I would hope we can all agree on is that Jesus Christ is the one and only Son of God. He lived a perfect, sinless, blameless life for 33 years here on earth. He willingly went to the cross, willingly gave his life in our place, and rose 3 days later to provide us a path to redemption. Catholic, Presbyterian, Methodist, Lutheran, Baptist, non-denominational, Adventist, none of the rituals matter. And if you get caught up in those, the ritual becomes your God. Pardon me. Just like if you're so focused on money, money has become your God. And the Lord said, I am your God, the one who delivered you from bondage in Egypt. You shall have no other gods before me. The Bible tells us that Satan is the god of this world, lowercase g. He is not being checked in the way that you or I would do it, because in order for people to have a choice, you have to be shown both options. And the choice is temporary pleasure and so on now, and eternal damnation, or temporarily being shunned, in some cases hated, giving up pleasures of the flesh for an eternal reward. It's why at the end of Christ's millennial reign, Satan is loosed for a very short time. Those who are alive at the end of the tribulation, who did not take the mark, will enter the millennial kingdom alive, just as we are today. Notice, it only says that in heaven there is no giving in marriage. There is nothing like that. It doesn't say that during the millennial kingdom, it says in heaven. So there will be people born during the millennial kingdom, who during that time will only know the world as it is there, with no temptation, with no choice between Satan and God. So at the end of that 1,000 years, he's loosed for a short time to deceive who he will, and he'll deceive some. Because he'll say, oh, well, listen, this is a nice little life, but you're being controlled, and you're not being allowed to be yourself. Are you sure? And people will fall for it, just as they're falling for it now. All you have to do is look around at the beauty of creation, and you cannot deny it was created. You look at the human body, you cannot deny it was created. The magnificence of it demands that we praise the Creator. But people still tell you, no, it's just a cosmic fluke. We just kind of happened. That devalues life so far that I'm ashamed of anybody who can think that. And they call themselves intellectuals. But here's what I'm getting at, where I was kind of getting at the beginning. Like I said, I had that dream where I'm standing in front of a house that's completely empty. All the shutters, all the blinds are open, everything I can tell. It is empty. It's ready for move-in. And I've got all my stuff with me. And you don't come to a new home with all your stuff unless you're getting ready to move in. And that tells me either God's telling me I'm about to move to a new house or I'm about to move home. But one thing that keeps coming up, and this is something that I have posted about many times on many threads, on many platforms, the division, the infighting of, there won't be a rapture, it's mid-trib, it's post-trib. If it's post-tribulation, why would it take us to heaven? The Bible tells us those who are alive at the end of the tribulation will enter the millennial kingdom on this earth with Christ. And then for 1,000 years he reigns on earth. It's only after that that God destroys and builds the new heaven and new earth. Post-tribulation rapture makes no sense. Mid-tribulation makes very little sense. Why would a loving God who says we will be saved from tribulation, not saved during, but saved from tribulation, who says he will never leave us nor forsake us, but during the tribulation he removes his restraint. The restrainer is the Holy Spirit. Jesus said, if I leave, I will send another in my place. That's the Holy Spirit. So if the restrainer, if the Holy Spirit is removed, that's him leaving. And he said he'll never leave us. If he's leaving, he'll take us. That's why I believe in pre-tribulation rapture. And many people do. But the infighting does us no good. It only does us harm. But I want you to think about a couple of things. Imagine you're sitting in worship service one Sunday morning. Suddenly you look around and half the people are gone. Half the choir's gone. All the very, very young children are gone. Maybe your spouse is gone. Maybe the music minister is gone, but the pastor is still there. You look around and you think, where'd they go? How'd they get out of their clothes and get out of here without a sink? Or how'd they get out of here without a sing if their clothes aren't there? In the movie Left Behind, in the original version with Kirk Cameron, I forget his real name, but he played Jimmy Trivette on Walker. He's the pastor. It's a different man in the new version with Sorbo. But he quickly realizes what happened and starts to minister to those left behind. Others will quickly jump to, that was not the rapture, that could not have been the rapture, I'm still here. I mean, that will be. And some of them are the mega church pastors on television every Sunday morning, every chance they get, basking in the attention they receive. They'll quickly denounce that it was the rapture because, well, if it was the rapture, I would have been taken. I am above all of that. But the world government, the Antichrist or the beast, will also jump into that, declaring it was a virus that just instantly dissolves human flesh. And all of the people gone, well, they were the ones susceptible, but now it's not a threat. Or it was an attack, or it was aliens. In the new version of Left Behind, with Sorbo, there's a second round of vanishings. No one knows anyone who vanished, and no one knows anyone who 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 vanished. It's like they went back and looked for people who died 500 years ago and got all the names, made sure they were modern style names after that, instead of Johann, it was John, or things like that. and published that all of these people just vanished in the second wave, so it's not the rapture, that was the second wave. And people talk about, the Antichrist and the beast and the image of the beast. And the false prophet will give life to the image of the beast. And I say it's AI. I don't think it is, because that would be quickly discernible as, well, that's AI. No, it will be something that AI cannot make speak. It won't be an AI-generated video of the beast that just is able to listen to you in your home and talk to you. No, it'll be a graven image. I'm honestly not really worried about AI doing anything, because AI can't find simple answers. It can't answer some questions, meaning it's still being controlled. And it can't, tech companies like Google and Amazon can't find homes that are older than me, and I'm older than both of them. No, it won't be AI. No, it will be a graven image that the false prophet, with power given to him by Satan, will cause to speak. He'll call down fire just like Elijah did. Satan can't create anything. All he can do is copy and mimic. So he'll mimic everything God did. At one point, he'll mimic the resurrection. The beast will be wounded mortally, but in 3 days will be healed. And he declares himself God. Folks, all this is coming. Revelation is playing out in front of us. I'm not here to browbeat. I'm not here to force anyone into this or that religion. I am here spreading my faith, speaking my faith. And contrary to the far left media, I believe it was Washington Times, might have been New York Times. In fact, I think it was. It might have been Washington. I think it was New York. Big screaming story title: "The First Amendment is out of control." They have fully embraced, you are free to speak as long as we approve your speech. Free speech is meaningless unless people you don't like are allowed to say things you don't like. I am speaking about my faith, and I have every right to do so, and you have every right to speak about yours or your lack of. It's my channel. You start getting abusive and harassing and all that, and I'll remove you. You can say it somewhere else. This is my channel. It's just like if I was in your home and you don't want people speaking about their faith, you can kick them out. But you cannot silence us. But the day is coming when the Antichrist, the beast, will fully assume total power over the globe and will silence all dissent. And I don't want anyone to see that if I can stop it. If it's God's will that all of us who are alive at the time it starts see it, whether we are Christian or not, that's God's will, and as long as he wakes me up on this planet, I will spread his word. But I don't believe he will do it. I don't believe that he, in his mercy, sacrificing his son on the cross to save our souls, in his love, would put his church through torment like that. And then say, okay, now you can come on. No, we won't be here, but he will use it to reveal himself further. Anyway, let me know what you think. I've gone on long enough. I've rambled long enough. Just remember, keep it civil and logical. Discussion, dissent, debate is fine as long as we don't turn into toddlers. Until next time, y'all have a great day.